keep this kind, there are no reasons left to fight. Let's keep it moving and keep it light. There are no heroes, not this time. People, let's keep this kind, there are no reasons left to fight. Let's keep it moving and keep it light. There are no heroes, not this time, not this time, not this time, not this time, not this
All right. Hello, everyone. Good evening, and welcome back to USC 2022. Tonight, we are getting going with our finals weekend, our top 6 teams facing off, see who's going to emerge into that top 3 grand finals next week. Starting with 2 losers bracket matches tonight. Starting first of all with the in-state team kill, NorCal versus SoCal. It's an exciting one, and this one guy will be joined by none other than iFlame for it. Hello, good sir, and welcome.
Thank you. I am looking forward to this one, of course, the Battle of the Californias. I don't think we could have asked for a better match to start off finals here. And why don't we just get right into looking at these two teams?
Yeah, this is a couple of pretty nuts rosters, as we have seen. Number 1 seed NorCal, captained by Ches, Fiery Jackson, Woodsy, Gerbsy, and Trail Mix, have been kind of the antithesis of their opponents, where they have had good team-wide performances to get them to this stage.
Yeah, they haven't really had that one standout player. They have just had each player putting up good individual performances where they needed, and that's really what you need to get far in these tournaments. Meanwhile, on the side of SoCal, we have Matthew, Utami, Lego Kami, You're Cute, Headstack, and Jazaron. And SoCal, so far this tournament, has been a little bit of the Utami show.
It has been indeed, just like last year, he is the reason that they are at the stage that they have reached. The guy is kind of beyond compare in this tournament. He has been so by far the best player we've seen. and they're going to need him to live up to the hype again tonight if they want to win this match and continue onward.
Especially now that we are getting into these later stages, these final stages, you really do need your teammates to step up, and it's a lot tougher to rely on these one singular player to carry your team, especially when the other teams you play against are just getting better and better. That being said, late stage maps are getting really tough, and so this is where you potentially start to see the 1v2s, the 1v3s, and here we go. Should be getting into picks and bans any second now.
I believe we are going to see at least one warm-up, so we'll have a couple minutes here before we really get started. But this is going to be an interesting week because I think this pool is not what you're used to seeing. For anybody who, watched the showcase earlier this week on Monday, or anybody that's, just looked at the pool, they know that this is not what you're used to seeing. The slots are not, just the set in stone type of thing that we've become accustomed to over the past few years. And it's something that I think is actually going to maybe favor Utami a little bit because there's so many of these maps that are just really, really hard.
Yeah, and already I'm seeing No Mod 2, the alt map, No Mod 5, the stream pick here, obviously.
It's not even a stream map.
Okay.
It's CS5 AR8. Little did you know.
Cool.
Yeah, this pool is something completely different. This is one where if you didn't watch the showcase, you really missed out on understanding kind of the concept of this pool, where we're sort of running it back a little bit to yesteryear, where slot pooling was not the way that every tournament did it. So this pool instead represents a lot of different skill sets, but they're going to be in a lot of different places. And the raw difficulty got bumped up a lot as well, just by going into the final stage and wanting to make sure the pool is adequately difficult for the remaining teams.
For sure, and that's another thing that is potentially going to favor these players like Utami, who are just popping off on these maps, and when things start to get really hard, we see those standout performances. And that being said, it's going to make picking a little bit unusual. We have seen both of these teams really like to pick the DTs here, that both teams have put up incredible performances on those throughout the tournament. Of course, NorCal getting 3.4 mil on one of the DTs last week. And so I do expect those to be highly contested regardless of the different slots. Nomads as well, actually, something I also want to highlight early on as potential picks for SoCal, because NorCal did struggle a little bit on those last week. Of course, very different maps this week, but still a potential weakness for SoCal to target here.
Yeah, it's interesting, because I went back and forth on this, where if you look at the maps in common from last week, SoCal looks kind of dominant on everything except the one DT pick, where NorCal beat them by a huge margin on both times they played it. But everything else, SoCal won really handily. But when you look at how much the pool style changed from last week to this week, it becomes kind of hard to just put a comparison directly, because the stuff that you saw last week is not going to be the same this week. The vast number of changes to what map is where make it really hard, I think, to predict the outcome of any given map this week based on last week's data.
Yeah, it certainly does. It's going to be a lot more of a toss-up, and that's not only going to affect this match, but also our higher bracket matches. And I feel like it's these kinds of pools where you do sometimes see upsets happen, and we see kind of these more niche skill sets shine here.
Yeah, and, I think SoCal, you expect them to pick into skill cap because Utami, as we've discussed, but the picking strategy for a team like NorCal... Oh, wow, we actually did get Super Hexagon! After all the discussion last week, I love it. That's really funny. But yeah, I'm curious to see what kind of pick strategy emerges in this match with the maps having changed so much. I don't know. I really don't know what to expect, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and I do feel like when we talk about picks here, if you're NorCal, you're probably going to see them picking a little bit more comfort because you do need everybody to be able to play these picks. But the thing is, when we talk about going into skill cap picks for SoCal, you can't just expect Utami to 1v3 every single map. Obviously, these are very strong players on the other team. And so they have to find picks that Utami can play well on, but also they need to have the supporting combo against this #1 seed. You can't really afford to just have Utami solo carry every single pick.
Yeah, and we did see some very respectable, I would say, performances out of other members of SoCal last week. I mean, there's a reason that they won, 6-3 in their first match, 6-0 in their second match. But I think we're going to need to see good, even better performances, relatively speaking, out of guys like Matthew and Headstack and You're Cute in this one, because like you said, the opposition is just going to be stronger now behind, it's not like you can take a map off or have a slightly lackluster performance and still win when you're against the #1 seed in the tournament.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy to think that going into the tournament, I think it's fair to say that these were probably two of the favorites, probably up in that top 4 with Florida, Ohio, that you'd expect to go really far in this tournament. And here they both are in the losers bracket, and now only one of them can make it to that podium spot in that top 3, and potentially we see none of them make it, depending on how Massachusetts and New York can perform on this pool.
Yeah, that match is going to be a really interesting one as well, New York versus Massachusetts. And that almost feels like it's kind of in a similar situation where Taquito is fulfilling the role of Utami for New York. They, I think relatively speaking, they'll have maybe stronger backing players, especially versus a team like Massachusetts. Of course, that match will be coming up a little later. But yeah, it's a little wild that one of these teams is going to be out this weekend. I feel like if I had to guess, if I had to pick a team to come out of the losers bracket this week, it would be California.
But which California?
But which one? Yeah,
do you pick?
Yeah. I think the winner of this match is favored against the winner of New York versus Massachusetts. But as far as who's favored in this particular match, that's the $64,000 question that is nigh impossible to.
It is, and normally I would agree with you, but Massachusetts just came off taking Washington, that finals team that SoCal 6-1, brought them to tiebreaker, and so Massachusetts is another potential threat in this bracket here. And I certainly don't think we can count them out of this just yet. NorCal going to be opting for the second ban.
We'll see. SoCal first or second pick, and they will have first ban no matter what. Yeah, I think my feeling for Massachusetts is just that after seeing how difficult this pool is, I think they will be a little more liable to get skill capped. And I think that considering they were already rolling with basically 3 players last week, or like 3.5 maybe, that's going to shrink even more when somebody like Josie maybe hits a little bit more of a skill cap.
Yep, and they are going to be going for the first pick here. Very interesting decision. I guess they just want to get the momentum going in this match early on here. We are going to see an HR3 ban out of SoCal.
So that is a speed map in Hard Rock this week. I know not what people are used to in a Hard Rock 3 slot, but this week's Hard Rock 3 is Heisei Meme Hunters, which is a category. It's a 230 BPM, very bursty map with a decent number of streams, but kind of focused on that sort of it's a remix song in that kind of breakcore remix style. So maybe we'll see if SoCal like double bans speed maps after what happened. If you compared their scores on last week's DT2 or DT1, maybe they want to get rid of some of the faster stuff from the pool.
And I do kind of like this Hard Rock 3 ban out of SoCal. I feel like throughout this tournament, we've seen a little bit of a dichotomy where NorCal has tended more towards the Hard Rock picks when it comes down to it, and SoCal has gone a little bit more towards the HD picks. And so that'll be interesting to see in this match, but obviously both very strong teams, and I wouldn't necessarily favor either, but HD1 ban, like I mentioned, makes a lot of sense here.
And this HD one is super tech heavy. So it's just the reading and tech sort of thing. Free mod 4-second ban, that's just a stream map that's 5 minutes long.
Oh, good.
So we don't have to deal with that, which is nice. That's an interesting one in free mod. You don't often see a stream map in free mod.
They're definitely very rare, but I will say when you have the 4th free mod slot, it does kind of afford you the space to go for something like those stream free mod that, you know, keep the pools fresh and interesting and not just the same things every single round. HD2 ban following it up, going to be getting rid of that low AR pick here.
Nope.
Oh, of course not.
Nothing. You literally you have to look at the pool.
Okay.
Yeah, you actually have to look at the pool. This is why it's really
Sure. There's no low AR map in hidden this round. Okay.
It's just a flow aim. It's a flow aim hidden 2 this week. Is basically what it is. It's a stream. It's a 180 or 190 BPM stream map.
Yep, I need to throw all my assumptions out the window.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll double check the pool after each pick here.
Yeah, this is why, like, you know, I tried to tell people, like, watch the showcase or watch the VOD because you're not gonna know what to expect. I'm gonna real quick. Hopefully this doesn't break anything. I'm gonna real quick fix the tiebreaker. I thought I already did, so I don't know what happened there.
Oh.
But we're gonna come on. There we go.
Yeah. Tiebreaker is going to be the ever classic Azure Arbitrator OWC 2018 tiebreaker.
Okay, it still didn't fix. I would probably have to restart my overlay, but whatever. I'm not gonna worry about it unless they actually go to tiebreaker.
Yep. Hopefully a possibility, but remains to be seen. We are just waiting on the first pick. Is going to be SoCal, and I wonder if we see them kind of testing out the water with DT early on and trying to get a feel of who's feeling better on DT this match.
Yeah, the DTs this week are so weird. Like, it's a pretty fast DT1, a decently fast DT2, an Air 10.47 DT4, and then like this super old DT3. There's very little aim in this pool, so if you want to do speed, you've got some options. But it's going to be free mod 2 first pick from Team South California. So that is going to be, it is actually, and this is because of me, you're welcome, it is actually a CS5 Air 8, or CS5.5, excuse me, Air 8 free mod 2. So we did keep that, as well as I think the Hard Rock 2 being CS 6.5. So those two are what you expect them to be.
Well, glad something. There remains some sense of normalcy in these pools. Now, what are we looking at for mod combinations? Do we ever just see Utami go no mod here, try and get a big score, and kind of have the other two players on SoCal tank the Hard Rock and the Hidden?
I think you're possibly likely to see Utami no mod free mods this now that we're getting this late. But it could also be Hidden. He is a comfortable low AR Hidden player, and this is squarely within that. You know, it's kind of a snap aim heavy type of pick. And then you could roll Matthew on whichever one of those two he doesn't play. And then probably, I want to say You're Cute would be the Hard Rock player, I think, in that case.
Yeah, I could certainly see it. I'm just waiting on the last player for NorCal. Possibly we see Woodsy here. Oh, gonna be Fire Rage instead.
Fiery Jackson Trail. So that's probably Fiery Nomad or Hidden. They kind of do the same thing, and then you could actually see like Trail Mix Hidden Hard Rock. This is like actually an HDHRable map.
Yeah, we might see it. If not, though, I wouldn't be surprised to see Jackson on the Hard Rock as well.
We will shortly find out. I'm trying to find, because they did, I don't have their...
Maybe we're real lucky. We can get a new Tommy Easy flashlight. Okay, it's new
Tommy Easy. Okay. I get it, because this is CS 5.5, so like the Easy is reasonable. Yeah, Fiery Nomad. Trail Mix on the Hidden only, with Jackson on Hard Rock. I don't know that I expected that. The other mods as expected, though. And
yep,
in
and
we're
this
gonna go.
Yep, and we're going to keep in mind there is going to be no mod advantage on either side. Utami, of course, does have a 2x multiplier, so in order to calculate the score, just going to have to double Utami's score here, and should be no early leads either way, as this song gets off to a pretty slow start.
Yeah, this you know, it's an interesting sort of spot to be in because this is a CPMC or the previous, it might have been the previous one, custom map. So they're using, you know, Charlie's band, but the songs kind of don't support super high star rating maps all that well, and you end up with this sort of really slow, lengthy intro before the map actually gets underway. But it does eventually, you know, increase in intensity. And quickly, it's a break from Jackson early on. That hard rock, what is that, circle size 7-ish with the CS 5.5 hard rock. Very difficult, high precision requirement.
Here's the Jackson missing again. SoCal going to be off to an early lead here. And as you can see, map does not have a ton of radian requirement. It's pretty straightforward aim.
Yeah, it takes until there.
There we go. Everybody dropping except for Tommy and Fire Rage. 2 FCs to 2, and it's going to be SoCal still in the lead, but Matthew finds another miss. Jackson recovering a little bit better.
Yeah, this is going to be the Utami versus Fiery show for the Nomad versus the Easy. But it is that Jackson backing combo helping things out with Matthew struggling. So it's Jackson with a big lead.
Does have the slight accuracy advantage on the Easy over Fiery here. Jackson has about 100,000 score to make up here, and honestly, 200 combo over Matthew, quarter of the map to go. They should have enough time. You can already see that score closing so rapidly here. And they're going to need a miss out of Trail Mix or Jackson. There goes Trail Mix. Matthew trades it back, but there goes Head Stack as well, and Jackson has more than enough combo to bring this one back. Trail Mix finds another mix, but it doesn't matter.
Trail Miss finds another mix. Yeah, Fiery Rage and Utami are just casually FCing, and it just doesn't matter because their teammates are evaporating into the ether. This is going to end up being pretty close, but I believe... Oh, it's a break from Fiery Rage. Wait a minute. Jackson broke as well. Oh, but Utami falls. Utami could have actually, I think, won this if he FC'd, but I believe without an FC on him, it's not going to be enough. It's 440k. I think that's no. That's the tiniest NorCal win by what, like maybe 20, 30,000?
Yeah, I would say about that. I think they won it by 50 or 60,000 actually.
Was it that much? No. It's not that much. Because they won by 462k and Utami's score was 440k. So yeah, it's 22,000. Yeah. It's like, it's not that much. It's definitely not that much. But it is a break point to start things off, and this was kind of the concern, right? Does SoCal have the backing scores to compete with the team-wide performance that NorCal is likely to put up? You know, Utami has a one miss and very near FC choke at the end, but his teammates just did not do great.
And you know, the teammates, I will say, weren't that much worse than the supporting combos for NorCal, but unlike other matches, Fiery Rage is right there along with Utami holding that FC, and so Utami's not going to be able to pull out the score lead, and it's going to put them down 1-0 early on here, and NorCal, of course, as the pick, is going to try and consolidate this breakpoint.
Yeah, and as Fiery Rage pointed out in chat, that is already improving on last year's result. These two teams, of course, met in this same round. I believe it was the other direction, that SoCal was in winners semis and NorCal was in losers. But it's the same matchup, and SoCal won last year 7-0 on this same day. So NorCal already has done themselves 1 point better than the previous result from 2021. And now we'll have a pick. And I don't have any idea what this pick is going to be at all.
Very tough call. I definitely could see something like, okay, DT1 it is.
I was going to say something tapping because of the bans from SoCal. So tapping it is. Ever seen Dandelion DT? Because I've never seen Dandelion DT before.
I can't say that I have. You know, I will say I haven't seen most of the maps in this pool in the slots that they are in. So.
But even in general, like, there's a bunch of new picks in here as well.
There definitely is, and sounds like a little bit more of a techie DT pick here.
So this is a lower diff of an OWC custom from last year. It was a late round. Was that in Hard Rock or Free Mod? I forget. But this is the insane diff of that set, and it's fairly streamy, fairly fast. 280 BPM since this is 186 no mod. This was semifinals Free Mod 1 last year for the top diff. For the top diff.
I mean,
OWC.
Yep, sounds pretty great to me. You ever see a free mod pick and you go, yep, let's slap DT on it and call it a day.
Yeah, that would be something else if it were the same. If it were that diff, I don't know that there's anybody in the game that could play that. But yeah, so fairly streamy, kind of flow aimy, high BPM pick in our DT1 slot, and you know, as expected, I think based on the last results, NorCal won some speed in comparison, and they got some left-hand maps banned out by SoCal here, and so they're saying, yep, we're gonna keep up that trend.
Yeah, and I do think kind of the lack of aim in this pool is going to favor NorCal a little bit. Obviously, NorCal, some very strong stream players. We are going to be seeing Woodsy and Gerbsy coming in here.
Eventually, once Woodsy sorts out whatever caused him to die.
One of these days.
Utami, Lego, Kami, and Matthew are not a bad roster for this map, but it is a tough task to match this NorCal squad.
It certainly is. We have seen Lego Kami especially, though, put up some really nice DT scores. A little bit worried about Matthew, but we'll see how they can do on the DT1, and this is a very short map as well. Only going to be a minute 39.
Okay. At players, please stop arguing with the referee about what color you're supposed to be in. Just ready up, please. I beg. I beg.
Yes.
The laser tournament client flips the colors because of reasons. I promise I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this for 5 years now. And in we go. Jackson would see Curbsy going to try to consolidate that early break point for NorCal, which would be quite the turn of events considering that score we were talking about from last year. As you said, very quick first pick here for the NorCal side. Only a minute 40, so don't blink because you'll miss it.
Yep. And as we get into DT1, NorCal looking to do to SoCal what SoCal did to them last year. They are going to need to hold some pretty big combos. Everybody looking good so far. Gerbsy going to find the first miss early on here.
And that's the second miss and the third miss. Okay.
Oh my, Gerbsy needs to stop chain missing desperately. 3 FC still from SoCal. We were a little bit worried about Matthew, and there he goes.
But you do still have Tommy and Lego. Yeah, Gerbsy's struggling, and Jackson finds a break as well. So now it is just Woodsy against Utami and Lego Kami holding down the double FC. Utami accuracy, by the way, as well, really quite impressive, I think, as to be expected from a player as good at speed maps as he is. Oh,
and
whoa, okay, there goes NorCal.
There just goes all of NorCal, and Utami Lego Kami still holding. The score lead is going to be massive, and this is going to be such a dominant point as we come to the last quarter of the map. The question becomes, how many FCs do we see? Gerbsy finds another miss. It doesn't really matter. There goes Lego Kami. Utami doing Utami things. Will he hold on to the FC into the end of the map? Does drop a little bit of accuracy, but holds on to the combo for now.
He's going to do it, isn't he? He's just going to do it, isn't he?
Surely.
Yep, all right. Well, you know, this is the risk you run when you play against South California. That was 1,000,000 points. That was NorCal's first pick. And they lost it by 1,000,000 points. Gerbsy finishing up with... something has to have gone wrong. There's no way that's... Huh. 164K. That can't be right.
Yeah, but... I mean, to be honest, regardless, even if Gerbsy did FC, it would not have made a difference. The score difference was so massive regardless, but possibly some technical issues. I certainly don't think NorCal ever first picks that if their third player is getting 164K, so hopefully Gerbsy can get that sorted out.
Yeah.
And...
boy. And that's going to give NorCal pause about picking more speed as well, if that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's just going to be breakpoints traded here, and match is evened up. SoCal could go right back to the free mod. We potentially see them go for Freedom Dive here after the free mod too.
Yeah, CS5 Air 8 no mod. Pick it for Tommy, your primo reading player. I don't know if you go free mod. I don't think you go free mod 1 if you're in SoCal. Like, that's the one kind of straightforward aim map in the pool.
Yeah, so I do feel that
free mod 3 hidden 3. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think those are both going to be solid picks for them. Maybe we see something like a no mod 2 even.
I mean, that is an alt map here.
It is.
So it's a possibility if they feel comfortable with it. SoCal taking their time here on this pick, though, so really not sure, I guess, what they want. And it is the hidden 3. So it's our way. Kodoku's X, the difficulty. And if you take a look at the leaderboard for this particular map, you'll see a very familiar name right at the top.
And would that by chance be T1G at the top of that leaderboard?
Man, if only. Man, if only.
But no, it is going to be Utami, and it's Utami with a casual Hidden Hard Rock FC.
Yeah, there's no other modded FCs on this map. There's only 5 FCs total on this map, and Utami has a Hidden Hard Rock FC on it. High BPM, relatively aimy, as aimy as anything in this pool outside of free mod 1 gets, I suppose. But
I will call out Matthew with the number 24 score on the map, but 1 miss. So, this team, SoCal team, is all over this map's leaderboards, and they're going to be pretty comfortable on it.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. It's actually going to be Tommy Headsec. You're cute, it appears, so no Matthew.
Interesting.
Hidden name players coming in. Trail Fiery Jackson for NorCal. I think it's a pretty solid roster. The NorCal side as well. Both these teams should be able to put up pretty good showings on this map. Of course, shout-outs to G2 Esports themselves for their 3-0 in LEC today. This is an homage, I guess, to that with this pick from SoCal.
We'll go with that. I'm sure SoCal was, sitting there before their match, all watching the G2 match together.
I don't even know if they would have been awake for it, considering the time difference. All right. Well, let's see how it goes. 2 breakpoints started this match off. Will we continue to see more? Or
hopefully not, if you're SoCal.
Yeah, they would like to settle things down a little bit here.
Yep, gain a little bit of confidence in your own picks. We do see the long sliders early on. And Yurku going to be finding the first miss at the start. This is a really tricky map.
Yep.
A pretty long one as well.
Awkward slider patterns, some difficult linear-ish aim patterns that just catch everyone out. That's a 6-way reset. Okay. Setting the tone early, I suppose. This sort of thing on Hidden is so difficult. Both the sliders and the aim patterns are very, very hard.
Yeah, and SoCal so far has recovered a little bit better. Accuracy lead is in favor of NorCal, though, and that's going to keep them in the lead for now.
Combo is barely in favor of SoCal, but it's so close.
Incredibly close, and we're going to want to watch the misses into this next chorus. We get this linear aim, and you see how hard the maps are. If one player can hold on, they're going to go so far for their team. Yurku finding another miss.
See how long NorCal can hold on. They've got 3 decent combos. Utami has the largest combo, but he breaks on that next aim pattern. Jackson follows it up, but that is still advantage NorCal. Not anymore, though, as Fiery falls as well.
Yeah, now it's just going to be even across the board. Trail Mix and Headstack matching, but there goes Headstack matching no longer, and Trail Mix is really going to start to run away with this. This next section realistically should be free combo for Trail Mix about the next 10 seconds here, and there goes Headstack again.
It's like Yercute kind of just doing what he can. There go Trail Mix and Fiery Rage, so the door gets opened back up a little bit. We're only halfway through. There is a decent amount of time left. The lead quickly over to SoCal. The accuracy drops from NorCal, not helping things out. And we'll see what they can build up. It's 330 combo Yercute, 250 combo Tommy. That is tied up with Jackson, so Yercute has a pretty sizable advantage into this next section of the map if they can hold on.
This linear aim is so tricky. There goes Fiery Rage. There goes Jackson, and NorCal are dropping like fries. Headstack and Yercute trade it back, but there goes Trail Mix. All combos down for NorCal, and Utami is the last man standing here.
Who would have
Can
guessed?
he hold this aim section? Hits the slider pattern. Everybody missing. It is just Utami doing Utami things, and 600 combo now. SoCal is going to start to run away with this one. Quarter of the map to go. There is still time if Utami misses, but Fire Rage needs to hold on to this combo.
Yeah, the time is really running out here for NorCal to try and bring this one back. With Utami continuing to hold on to the combo, Trail Mix and Jackson finding more misses, I do think this is pretty much over at this juncture. Utami putting up a top score by nearly 200k before finally breaking, but it's too little too late as NorCal just does not have any combo to bring it back, and Headstack and Yercute doing a great job supporting into the end as well.
Yeah, just a really solid team performance from SoCal.
Answering our concerns about their team and the way that this match might go. You know, it ended up with a team-wide performance on that map to give them the advantage and to end up winning the map, which, while they all actually outscored every member from NorCal, which was the big concern, whether or not they'd be able to back up Utami or not, and the answer there was yes.
Yeah, yes, so far, and just NorCal kind of falling apart in the last 30 seconds of the map. They do have the pick now. You can't really be affording to give up a second breakpoint here. SoCal, having won the last two picks, would love to take another breakpoint. There'd be so much momentum for them.
Yeah, they'd feel like they were in a very good place if they can get another break here. And I'm wondering, after what happened on that DT1, like, what is NorCal going to pick? Because they surely thought that that would go better than it did. So do they still think that they're okay with that skill set of, you know, kind of the higher speed, more left-hand oriented maps? Go something like, you know, I hesitate to say Nomad 1. I was gonna say maybe Nomad 4 or something, but it's gonna be Free Mod 1. So we're kind of just going back-to-back aim maps. This is a very aim-heavy Free Mod 1 pick. Rip and tear. 7-star aim at 216 BPM. It's hard. It's just difficult. I don't know.
It is, and it is going to have to be, of course, one person on the hidden, one person on the hard rock. And what we tend to see on these aim maps is that hard rock tends to be a little bit tougher than the hidden, and so pressure is going to be more so on the hidden no-mod players here, which I'd imagine we're going to see possibly Fire Rage in as the last player for NorCal here.
He said he was going back to the bench. So I'm gonna say he's not in for this. I think this is I think there are a couple of streams in this. I'm trying to think back to the showcase. So maybe something he's a little uncomfortable with, or his teammates are just more comfortable with. Having Trail, Gerbsy, and Woodsy is a pretty solid roster for an aim free mod.
And SoCal, sticking with their core three, of course, they have just been, for the most part, going with those three throughout the tournament. Other players like Okami, Matthew, and Staron subbing in here and there.
Yeah, those are kind of a little more of the fill players. It has seemed so far for SoCal. As you said, it's kind of the main three that you're going to see pretty frequently. And Jelly Chef's coming out. I'm curious to see what we end up getting for mods, with this being such a different style of map than the Free Mod 2. Curious if it's any different. It's Trail Mix on Hidden, Gerbsy Hard Rock, Woodsy No Mod, Yercute Hidden, Headstack Hard Rock, and Utami No Mod. So no real surprises there. Utami obviously going to go for the No Mod, you know, big score. If you can FC on No Mod, or at least, you know, maybe put up 700-800k on No Mod, it's going to look really good for your team. And the Hard Rock players are probably going to be suffering because this the jump spacing on this map is massive for Hard Rock.
It is really brutal, and kind of both teams throwing their Hard Rock players to the wolves as you do. There goes Gerbsy. There goes Woodstack.
Yeah,
Two Hard Rock
Woodstack.
players. We're struggling today.
Not Woodstock, but Woodstack. the two middle players there. You've got Woodsy and Headstack. Yeah, that's the ticket. But it is 2 FCs to 2. The combos on the Hard Rock players pretty similar. Headstack a little bit ahead of Gerbsy. It's giving a small lead to SoCal, but not anymore, because he does find a break right thereafter.
Yeah, and there is this other kind of idea where if these no-mod players and hidden players put up similar scores, it can sometimes come down to which Hard Rock player can put up a better supporting combo, but it's a very difficult map. There goes Gerbsy again, and Hard Rock advantage is on neither team because there goes Headstack too.
Yep, it's just going to be, I think, it's a 1v1 and a 2v2, basically. It's not really a 3v3, because it's a Hard Rock versus Hard Rock, and then Hidden No-Mod versus Hidden and No-Mod, with just how incredibly difficult this is on HR. It ends up feeling like kind of two separate matches being played at the same time. And so far, it's basically dead even. I mean, there is next to nothing separating teams. Slight accuracy advantage. There's an advantage, though. Utami, of all people, finding the no-mod break. That is not something you can afford.
There goes Gerbsy, of course, that being the Hard Rock player, not going to matter nearly as much. Headstack as well, and NorCal going to take a really big lead here. Woodsy and Trail Mix holding the full combos halfway into the map.
And this is just going to be how long can Trail and Woodsy hold on to their FCs, because that's going to be what determines how big of a lead NorCal can build up here in this middle third. And so far, they're both looking pretty comfortable. The AC a little lower for Woodsy, but I mean, Trail Mix on a 99.47 AC FC, matching your cute. A little bit higher on the AC even, and Woodsy, of course, exceeding to perhaps the surprise of the viewers, Utami's score.
SoCal, though, does have your cute. The light at the end of the tunnel for them is kind of their last hope here. And Headstack misses on the slow section. Thankfully, none of the full combos do.
Yeah, the Hard Rock missing in this portion is like almost irrelevant because neither of them has any combo. It's just whether or not Trail and Woodsy can continue to hold. With it being a 100k lead, there is still comeback time, but...
Yeah, if we see both of those players break and Yorkview can hold on, SoCal definitely has time to come back here. Quarter of the map to go. There is one tough section left towards the end.
Yeah, once you get through this slow section, it picks right back up into the ending. The question will just remain of whether anybody's going to miss before we get there or when we get there. Hopefully not before we get there.
Hopefully not, and you can just feel the anticipation building as we go into this last hard section. There is so much pressure on these full combos, especially for NorCal trying to even up the match. There goes Trail Mix, that's so big, but Woodsy is holding on. Oh no, your Q has so much time to bring this back now. It's going to be really close. Utami is there with the supporting combo as well, but there goes your Q, and Utami does not have the combo to bring this back. NorCal.
Ooh, I don't know that I would say that quite so soon. There's literally no combo on NorCal at all, and Utami's at 600. It's only 70k.
Yeah, but the map is so long. I think Utami can only get another 50,000 points here. It's going to be close, but I don't think there's time.
I think you are most likely correct, but it's coming down. Yeah, it's not going to come down quickly enough. I think it's like, there go Headstack and Yurkut is again right at the end there. If either of those two could have held like any combo in this ending, this could have been winnable for SoCal. But Yurkut and Headstack both just did not contribute anything, unfortunately, in the last few hundred combo. And despite Utami FCing the ending, which is ridiculous in and of itself, his miss was just in such a bad place as well. Like 800 combo out of what, 1500? Like you can't miss there. That's like the best case score after that break. NorCal just barely manages to hang on.
Yeah, Trail Mix and Woodsy did enough with their combos before they broke, and I also want to call out Yurkut with also a really impressive score there.
Yeah, that was... You end up with 700k. I mean, the problem is for Yurkut, 15 misses in the last few hundred combo. For everything he contributed up to that point, unfortunately the ending just had its way with him. 735k on Trail Mix as well, by the way. Like, cannot overlook that.
Yeah, it does feel like SoCal potentially has a lot of picks here, though. They could go for, there's the Fremont 3 that we mentioned earlier. They could potentially go for a DT pick as well.
Yeah, I don't know who's comfortable with 10.5 to say whether or not DT4 is pickable in this match. I think Fremont 3 is definitely an option. I think as well, like, I'm curious when we'll see some nomads, if ever. But
yeah,
it's
we did actually.
Instead gonna be DT3.
Yeah, I do think DT4 is going to be one of those later stage picks if it really comes down to it, but I'm going to be getting DT3 instead. And why don't you tell us a little bit about this map?
So this map, well, what you'll notice about this map is that it has a beatmap ID of 21,677, and you know, that does correlate with age. A 5-digit beatmap ID means it's very old, so you're going to see awkward patterning, awkward finger control patterns, and you know, it's also circle size 6, so you're gonna throw some precision into the mix also. It's really that sort of old DT pick that I think people have seen here and there. You know, there's usually some of these sprinkled throughout map pools. You don't see a ton of them, but you do get one here, and it is really hard, and it's a new Tommy map, and I think that's going to be the most important part.
It certainly is a new Tommy map, and this is, I wonder if NorCal potentially looks to their older players like Fire Rage, but I don't think he's really been known ever for this style of map, and so it's really tough to find a strong third for NorCal here.
Yeah, you know, they were talking about Fiery having trouble with his tapping. And when you play a 240 BPM finger control pick, like, it's probably not a good situation to be in. But it's going to be Jackson Woodsy Trail Mix for NorCal. Trail Mix is usually pretty strong on a wide variety since he just plays the game, you know what I mean? Like, he's the kind of guy that plays everything. So we'll see. He can probably put forward a good showing. Matthew and Chizaron, so you're going to see Chizaron for the first time. But I think, as usual, SoCal going to be watching the Utami show, and NorCal going to look for just a good team-wide performance. And
of course,
away we go.
Maps do tend to be more linear as well, somewhat similar to the H33. Obviously, very different style. There go Wesley and Chizaron trading early. Not going to matter too much for the overall score of the game. And I do think there's going to be a lot of pressure on accuracies. You see Utami at the 98, and nobody on NorCal really matching, all at or below 90.
Yep, you know, the comfort level on this sort of finger control is not going to be there for most people, and Utami is one of the rare cases who's able to play it pretty consistently. Jackson Trailmix having a whole bunch of trouble. Shout out to Matthew as well, actually out-acking Utami while also holding on to the FC. Woodsy just a little bit behind those two, but that's a big lead for SoCal. It's a very short map. We're already past halfway through. There goes Woodsy. That may have just ended it, actually.
I think it did. These two Matthew drops as well, but with Utami still holding and the map nearly over, Utami's score is going to skyrocket near the end of this map, and it's probably just going to be a quick point for SoCal here.
Yep, this is SoCal picking for their ace. You know, when you've got somebody that is going to be comfortable on a lot of these maps, pick the ones that they're best at that other people are likely to not be great at, and this is a map very much that suits that. As Utami, of course, FCs. Yeah, that's fine.
And Matthews right there as well. 600k is such a great supporting combo on this map.
They would have comfortably 2v3'd, like, by a couple 100,000 points. That's a very impressive couple of scores there on the SoCal side. So very well done, Utami, Matthew. Chizaron, you know, didn't have the greatest time, but it unfortunately didn't really matter. Also, where's Airyu when you need him? That would have been such an Airyu map.
It really would have. Sadly, he is in the chat and not in the match.
Ooh. Damn. All right. I'm gonna do him like that.
Just a little.
So 3-2 goes the lead over to SoCal. Couple of points won. That's 3 in a row by the team picking. And NorCal with the next selection after a pretty close affair on Free Mod 1. We'll see where they head, as there is really no aim left now. The Free Mod 1, the hidden 3 Free Mod 1 back-to-back kind of exhausted the aim in this pool.
You know, I feel a little bit scared to ask, but what is no mod 1 in this pool? Please enlighten me.
It's a 266 BPM no mod 5, basically.
Oh, naturally.
Yeah, it's just a minute long, and it's just have fun tapping. I don't know. That's really all there is to it. The song is like
Very
actually
cool.
kind of good, but it's 51 seconds of just straight like crazy tapping. Hard Rock 1 is going to be the pick. Which, Bloody Stream, I think most people are going to be familiar with this. It's an alt map. That's pretty much it. There's like 2 diff spikes, and it's just a nice, comfy alt map, except, you know, with Hard Rock applied to raise that precision requirement just a bit, because this is CS 5.59 for some reason. I don't know why. I guess why not make your map CS 4.3.
You know, some people just like to be different.
Yep. It's like when people make maps, you know, AR 8.9. It's like, just make it AR 9. Like, why? Or CS 3.9 or 4.1. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's all very strange, but regardless, this is going to be a very consistent map as well. Fire Rage, playing Imposter for the moment, should switch teams in a second. This is such a great song.
Yeah, it's a banger. They, JoJo songs just kind of don't miss.
Yep. JoJo songs don't miss, but the players certainly do.
We just lob that one in there for you.
Appreciate it.
So it's gonna be Utami headstacking somebody against presumably USC Trail Mix and Fiery. All right, looks like you're cute.
Makes a lot of sense. Players definitely not going to be switching teams here. I think, unfortunately for SoCal.
Yeah, you don't get to move in the middle of the tournament. Sorry, guys, that's not how this works. All right, Chili Chef's coming out, so it looks like we are set. We'll get into the next pick. This is also quite long. I think this is one of the 3 longest maps, ignoring the existence of Free Mod 4 because it was banned in the pool. It's over 4 minutes.
Yes.
So high
Yes, it
degree
is.
of consistency.
So we have a long road ahead of us here. And that does mean we're going to probably see some very high combos from these players, and accuracy going to play a factor. Fire Rage with the early miss, just getting rid of the nerves.
Yep. Can't get nervous UFCing if you miss in the first 20 combo. That's the man pointing at head. Utami and You're Cute also finding some RNG misses in the early stage here. Unfortunately for them, really doesn't matter.
No, it does not, and these misses really aren't going to start to matter until you get about 400, even 500 combo in.
Yeah, there's one of those little aim spikes, catches out You're Cute and no one else, so NorCal going to grow their lead by a little bit.
Yeah, NorCal does still have 2 FCs here, and, you know, despite the early misses from SoCal not mattering too much, FCs are actually worth quite a bit more, even if you're only 100 combo behind, so you're going to want to keep an eye out on those FCs. There goes You're Cute and Fire Rage, the 2 low combos on each team.
Yeah, I don't know, that technically helps SoCal, I guess, but it's not the
Just a
biggest
little.
deal. As You're Cute finds another break, he is really struggling on this one.
Yeah, whereas it's still USC Trail Mix holding strong on the FCs, and NorCal is going to start to push the lead as You're Cute continues to chain miss.
Yeah, I mean, it's an 80k lead at not even a third of the way in.
Yeah, the problem is, though, you do still have Headstack holding the full combo and Utami recovering, so if we see these high combos drop on NorCal, the score now would flip over so quickly, but into this slow section, we should just be getting a little bit of free combo for NorCal, and that's going to help them push the score lead even farther.
Yeah, NorCal's loving this little bit of free combo for sure. Those FCs are building up higher and higher, 700 plus combo. And Fiery Rage also recovering quite well.
Tricky section coming up here, though.
You get through this sort of burst section, you get another one of those diff spikes. Oh, Fiery Rage breaks on that little linear jump pattern. That opens a little bit of space for SoCal to work away at that lead.
Yeah, Yerkut at 400 combo through this easier section, and in order for SoCal to come back, Yerkut needs to hold on through the tough section because Utami is still behind in combo off of the early miss, and
Trailmix and Woodsy are holding comfortably. Trailmix with 98.8 accuracy, very impressive. And into the next Ki, we go with Utami and Woodsy trading. That is kind of a net neutral at the end of the day. It's Headstack and Trailmix matching. Yerkut is ahead of Fiery. SoCal really would have liked to have Utami hold. There's a double break on Yerkut and Headstack. Trailmix holds because he's just a god, I guess. And NorCal just runs with this.
Guess so, yeah. SC on this would be really insane, and SoCal is just dropping all over the place now. It's a three-way miss from them, and Trailmix is unstoppable on this pick.
Yeah, this is a remarkable showing from him. I mean, 700k alone would have been a good score, but he's still holding, and he's got a little slow section to build up even more free score. And I mean, with the lead being 300k, it's basically all said and done at this point with 0 combo on the SoCal side. So we're just watching to see what Trailmix can do. If he can FC this ending, that would be amazing.
Pretty tricky though. Nobody's allowed to watch Trailmix.
All right, I'm just gonna keep my eyes on Fiery Rage. He's recovered quite a bit of combo, actually gonna put up a pretty respectable score by the time it's all said and done. Don't think he'll be able to catch Woodsy, but he'll be right up there.
Yeah, Fire Rage, of course, the recovered combo doing more than enough, and at the end of the day, while it looked close for a while, NorCal is gonna take a pretty convincing victory, and this match is gonna stay ever so close, 3-3 now, and it looks like Trailmix, as we get into the last 10 seconds, will be getting the FC here, and that is just such a ridiculous score. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, there were the people saying that they thought this map was easy, but judging by the scores, unless your name is Trailmix, this map was not easy. Those, kind of difficulty spikes with those awkward jump patterns are really tough to hit all of in one run with Hard Rock on, and he just did it casually. I mean, 98.57 AC on top of everything else. Like, he had the best AC in the lobby, besides having the FC. I mean, that's just a really, really good score. He's shown up when it counts. That's a much needed sort of play for NorCal to keep this at that tied 3-3 score.
Yeah, and this is actually the first Hard Rock FC on the map, I believe.
Oh, yeah, of course. Ain't that too bad? Oh, it actually is. I want to see. Now you got me curious. I got to look at the Hard Rock leaderboard because, like, goodness sake. Let's see. What have people done? There's two S ranks with Hard Rock. One from Defons with 99.5 AC. That's 800s and like one slider break. That's a shame. Woodsy also actually has rank 1 on the Hard Rock leaderboard on that map. That's kind of funny. Well, well done to Trailmix. Don't see that every day.
You certainly do not. SoCal, what do you go for after that? Obviously, not Hard Rock, but they do still have a couple options. We could potentially see Fremont 3. I do feel like SoCal is should feel pretty good about picking speed into NorCal here. Maybe even see a Nomad 1.
I would almost say Nomad 4 before Nomad 1.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that they banned Hard Rock 3, I think Nomad 4 is still pretty reasonable. Headstack saying we picked Daddy, which is Nomad 4. I'm just gonna assume that that comes across. Yep, there it is. So, I'm Your Daddy by Way Hey Hey, which is, well, you can listen to the song and you kind of get a feel for what it is. It's just, breakcore burst speed with some very difficult buzz sliders and a little bit of aim as well.
Yep. It's going to be 225 though, so honestly it should be pretty comfortable for most of the players at this stage of the tournament.
Yeah, this is very much like an Utami and Lego Kami map. Utami actually played this in Hard Rock in Corsairs Closed. It was a Hard Rock pick in Grand Finals there. Nomad here around earlier. I think Jackson Woodsey should have a pretty good time with this. Trail Mix, I'm not as sure, but the way he's been playing in this match, I'm not too concerned about him.
No, I do want to say Lego Kami has looked so good on these speed picks so far, and I think Okami can potentially put up just as good of a score as Utami on something like this, but we'll have to see how it goes as the good luck have funs are in the chat. SoCal looking to hold on to their lead.
Yep, gotta watch out for the buzz sliders. There are gonna be probably some breaks on those. Maybe a little easier hold with Nomad as compared to Hard Rock, which is, as I mentioned, how I've seen this map played previously, but it's still easy enough to break. Unbuffered buzz sliders are the bane of like everyone who plays breakcore maps, I'm pretty sure, because they just tend to be in all of them.
Man, I feel like buzz sliders are so much more tilting to break on than anything else.
Yeah, because you're like, the mapper could have just buffered them, and then I wouldn't have broken there. But they didn't, and so I broke. And there goes several early breaks, holy cow. Okay, that was mostly Bancho, I think, but there's breaks all over the place except for Utami and Chizaron is basically what's happening. Oh my goodness, yep. Buzz sliders, guys.
And yeah, and it just seems like there's about 2 players who can play this map, and those 2 are both on the side of SoCal for now.
You do get more comfortable once you get through the first section of this. The middle third to maybe more of this pick, like once you get out of this intro, it does calm down just a little bit. But if you have no combo and no score going, coming out of the intro, then you're gonna be in a bad place.
And look at the accuracies too for SoCal. 99.81 on Utami, 99.6 on Chizaron. Chizaron did find a pretty big miss, but with Utami holding, it doesn't really matter. And Trail Mix, who had recovered nicely, is going to find the miss. Woodsy, kind of the last big combo for NorCal, and everybody breaking on SoCal as well, so it's just going to be Utami.
This is just the Utami show. 750 combo, FC 99.87 accuracy, whereas nobody else has anything at all. Yeah.
And okay.
Yeah.
There goes everybody.
You get through that section, and you're just like, okay, do I get to breathe? And then you kind of get to breathe, but it's still a bunch of triples, which are still not easy.
No,
this is like,
go ahead.
This is technically easier, assuming you can play the repeating triple single patterns, but it's still not a big respite from the previous part of the song.
And all of these 6-way misses are going to favor SoCal so heavily. They've already put in the work to get this 250k score lead, and so now all they need to do is hold on to it, which, based on how NorCal is looking, it's not going to be too much of a challenge here. I mean, we do have half of the map to go, but they just have such a tough time building up any combo, whereas Utami, after that one miss, is right back to it.
And we get a bunch of players buzz slidered there. That was Lego Kami, Chizaron, Utami, and Woodsy all got buzz slidered at the same time. But one thing, as you mentioned earlier, you can't ignore the AC. 99.5 on Utami, 98.8 on Chizaron. Meanwhile, you have 94, 96, 96 on the NorCal side. So as if SoCal needed any more help, they have a massive accuracy lead. And they're just going to take this.
Yeah, there's a quarter map of the map to go, but I think it's safe to say this one is very much over.
Yeah, this was... I'm losing to HR? I'm not... Okay, well, anyway. Yeah, this was a good pick, though. It's just, like, set Utami loose and give him, like, at least one backing score, and you can kind of just roll from there.
Yeah, and you just take the top 2 players on SoCal for this map, and it's a pretty comfortable 2 versus 3 for them.
This, all right, outro, there it is. This was a good selection for SoCal. I mean, it's quote-unquote only, like, 300k, but it never felt even slightly in doubt. Utami, 700s, and Chizaron, 700s. I guess that's legal. This map probably should have just been WinCon AC. It would have maybe looked a little looked a little more one-sided to represent how, you know, much in SoCal's favor that was the whole way.
Pretty much, yeah. And I think we're going to see NorCal avoiding speed for the rest of the match after this one.
Yeah.
And thing is, SoCal has a lot of speed picks left. There's a lot of speed in this pool.
Now I'm all curious. So where's the MP link? Because he played this... I don't know if he played it in the losers bracket final against Matthew, but I know he played it in the grand final against Zudi and Corsairs Close. Talking about that hard rock thing. Oops. Did not play it against Matthew. He got 374k the first time, and he got 429k and lost to 444k the second time. Versus 507k there. So he did get a better score than his hard rock scores, just in case anybody was wondering. What do you pick now if you are NorCal?
I feel like there's a chance. I mean, there's not much aim left in the pool, but I feel like you potentially go back to something like the Hard Rock CS 6.5, the last one there. Something maybe like Fire Rage and Jackson you'd expect to feel more comfortable on than most of the players on SoCal. But other than that, it's really tricky to find a good pick for them. Obviously, DT is going to be hotly contested, and same with the free mods. I don't feel like they particularly favored NorCal throughout this tournament. And it looks like we're still waiting on the pick. They're kind of running out of timers, so they're going to need the pick soon. It is going to be the HR2.
Okay. Hard Rock Precision. I think this is understandable for NorCal. They've got Fiery, they've got Trail.
Yeah, and I do think we probably just see Jackson as the last player on this one.
Oh, this is some flow aim and some sliders with the CS 6.5 modification applied. So very, very difficult hard rock map. Very, very challenging with those tiny circles.
And I do think this is possibly a Matthew map as well for SoCal.
I don't know that his precision holds up. I'm not sure.
I mean, yeah, I definitely wouldn't say Matthew is a precision player, but then when you look at the lineup for SoCal, who do you play? I don't know that.
Oh, okay, Matthew is. You know
Here
something
we go.
I don't. All right, fair enough. Utami, Matthew, head stack, I think.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
And yeah, Fiery Trail Jackson is the roster for NorCal, to the surprise of quite literally no one. Just wait on the third for SoCal.
Yeah, it seems like they might be having a tough time figuring out their own lineup here.
I mean, their options are Headstack, who it is, Lego Kami, who it isn't, Chizaron, who it isn't. Yeah, I don't know. This is probably just
Very,
always gonna be Headstack.
Very good observations there. We should be getting into it any second now. The wait is over, and this is kind of the last NorCal favored pick here before they have to start kind of diversifying, maybe going for a little bit more coin flip, but of course, you can never count out SoCal, not with Utami in the lineup.
Yeah, Tommy was he the only FC on last week's Hard Rock 2? I know he was one of very few at most. This one is a whole different level of difficulty, but still.
Yeah, Utami was the only FC indeed. So, but of course, Fire Raids and Jackson were right there with 700k scores each. And so those are going to be the players to watch out for on this one. We did see a very early miss out of Headstack. But kind of the other thing I want to highlight there goes Matthew as well. But Headstack's accuracy is a little bit more concerning than the miss. I feel like on these maps especially, accuracy is generally a pretty good indicator of comfort. And so hopefully Headstack can recover, but it's just going to be the 3 FCs to 1 very early on here.
Yeah, I mean, not quite 3 FCs, but 1 FC and 2 big combos at least. The early breaks from Jackson and Trail Mix. And it's just Utami holding the FC down for SoCal. There is a big break from Fire Rage, though. getting to about a quarter, the quarter to a third of the way in. There goes Jackson also, head stack breaks, but Utami is there, trying to pick up the slack for his team. Trail Mix has been going off today. He's having a very, very good match. He has got a sizable combo.
Yeah, and is going to need to hold on against Utami. The one thing NorCal does have going for them here is at the pretty massive accuracy advantage. Headstack and Matthew falling a little bit behind.
Ooh, Trail Mix and Utami both got slidered. No!
Oh, no. Well, all things considered, it's going to be just an even trade, but there goes Matthew as well. So now it's going to be slight advantage to NorCal with Fiery, highest combo in the lobby, and its accuracy is so good. There goes Headstack, last big combo down for SoCal. And NorCal, towards the end of this map, going to start running away with this. Fiery, oh, there goes Fiery, and Jackson, and...
This could technically still be interesting. I mean, we've still got a quarter of the map to go. Like, there is a non-zero amount of combo left in the ending. Now, the Utami 215 combo is not enough on its own, but if Trail Mix breaks, which he does... Oh, don't tell me Utami brings this back. It's only 30k. There's a full reset for SoCal. Ah, the dream has died.
It has. Fiery Rage's dream is... well, he missed, but they're winning, so the dream is still alive. And it looks like it is just going to be 4-4, and this has been such an even match.
Utami has a little combo. There's not... Nah, there's no way. There's no way, right?
No. It's 50k.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, that map goes kind of crazy towards the end. Utami with the one miss, one slider. Man, that is a shame. 600k, by the way. That's a score once again, but NorCal just, again, kind of doing what they need to do. The better team-wide performance, and, welp, it's 4-4. We had those 2 break points early on, and we haven't seen another one since. That was scary, though. That really felt like it could have gone either way.
It was. You really just needed maybe 100 more combo, maybe 200 combo on Utami, and it would have been right in SoCal's favor. So, came down to the wire, but... NorCal pulls it off, and at the end of the day, that's what matters. And we are going to be getting industry, baby, DT4.
Wow, I wondered if we would see this picked. It's 10.5, so not a comfortable approach rate for a lot of people. This song is so good, though. I'm very glad to see it selected. 225 BPM, so it's not the fastest, but I mean, 225 BPM at air 10.5 is always going to be somewhat difficult. You've got some aim required, you've got some slider required. I don't know, it's hard to describe map.
This is a really interesting pick. I feel like Fiery Rage and Trail Mix are kind of 2 of these players that you feel like can at least somewhat play the AR 10.5. Whereas SoCal, I mean, you assume Utami can play it, and Matthew as well. I guess the 2 question marks for me are Jackson and Yurku on each side.
Yeah, I think... I wonder, you've got to think that people in for this, if you're the team picking it, have probably practiced it. So even if you're not always great at 10.5, you can just sort of learn it. It's not a long map. I mean, this is what, 2 minutes? 220 and change. So
yeah,
if you're not the most comfortable with 10.5, you maybe can practice this a bit and at least get comfortable with it to a certain degree, enough to put up a decent score in a match. And then, as I said, somebody like Utami is going to be fine with it, so he'll be the one we're watching, I think.
It's actually going to be a last-minute sub. Woodsy over Fiery Rage. A little bit surprising to me, but that is the call, and so we'll see what Woodsy can do on this pick. A very short one here, like we mentioned, and it gets very quickly into the diff spike.
Yeah, it's got this sort of awkward aim and a lot of sliders, a bunch of kick sliders, kind of the traditional style of mapping you see for songs like this these days, I guess. There aren't a ton of them, but they all feel like relatively similar stylistically because the songs are kind of similar. And it's an early break from literally slider break from Trail Mix, from Slider Mix. Yurku, though, follows it right up, so no advantage gained either way.
Yeah, but the key here is Trail Mix was the highest, and there goes Matthew as well, but Trail Mix was the highest accuracy FC on NorCal, and so that's going to hurt them the most of anybody who could have dropped. But 2 FCs to 1, going to keep them into lead for now, but accuracy going to keep things close, and this is still anyone's game, only a quarter of the way in, and Jackson Woodsy going strong.
Yeah, you've got two 97s on SoCal. Meanwhile, a 91 on Woodsy is not helping things out. Jackson, Trail Mix, and Matthew all find some slider breaks. It is Woodsy versus Utami, but that's a free combo now backing for You're Cute. So if he and Utami can both hold, the lead's going to go their way, and we're already halfway through, so that lead is going to start to go pretty fast. There goes Woodsy as well, and that is now SoCal just free to fly because it's a full reset for NorCal.
Yeah, and this is just going to be a complete meltdown halfway into the map for NorCal, and Utami still on the FC, and obviously You're Cute. They're just going to run away with this, and it's going to be so hard for NorCal to come back here.
Yeah, it would require a full reset from SoCal at this point, which they do get a break out of You're Cute, but Woodsy and Jackson trade it, so it's going to not matter. And we're watching the Utami show once again, and Matthew on a pretty solid backing combo just to make sure that nothing can go awry.
No, and turns out to be a pretty solid pick for SoCal. There goes Utami, so last FC down. But Utami has done more than enough here, and it's going to be 500k in the lead for SoCal.
Yep, and Trailmix with a late break could have brought the score back just a tad to make it look a little closer, wouldn't have affected the outcome. That's a break, and that's a full reset on basically everyone in the lobby at the end. And yeah, another good pick. Nobody's mispicking, you know, those first two maps, but ever since then, it's felt pretty reasonable for both sides. They've been, you know, winning their own picks. I guess the Hard Rock 2 was pretty close, but still, like, NorCal was in the lead basically the entire time, and on this one, SoCal was in the lead the entire time. They take the 5-4 lead, but
Yes.
still no breaks again.
Yes, they do. And I also just want to call out at the start of these match, we kind of mentioned how SoCal has just been the Utami so far, but this match, the supporting combos have been there for SoCal. I mean, Matthew getting the second highest score in the lobby for this point, and it feels like all of SoCal is showing up today.
Yep, they're getting what they needed. They're out of their kind of supporting players in a way that it was hard to predict whether or not they would on a pool that gets this difficult.
And I feel like the pick for NorCal now is so unclear. I mean, you probably don't want to go for Nomad 1. You definitely don't want to go for Fremont 3. I mean, GT is also a really tricky pick. And I feel like they're really limited to just the Nomads here.
Yeah, I think this might be a Nomad 3 angle. It's kind of that hybrid alt and tech, which is something that they've got very good players for. I don't think it's DT2. I don't think it's Fremod 3. I don't think it's Nomad 5. I mean, technically, you could just burger flip Nomad 1 and pray. I mean, it's 51 seconds long, like, why not? But,
yeah, I feel like at the end of the day, it should really come down to Nomad 2 or Nomad 3 for them. Nomad 3 probably a little bit more likely, but just one of those kind of alt-style picks because everything, and it's going to be the Nomad 2, so it is going to be one of those alt picks. Lost Umbrella, very much a classic.
Yeah, this is like alt aim, I guess. There are a lot of just strong aim patterns, but also, you know, kind of that consistency alt aspect to it in the other sections. But the verses of this, they do the back and forth jumps kind of like in Countdown 3, 2, 1.
And I do think we have our lineup for NorCal at least. SoCal, I'd expect to bring Headstack back in for this one. Okay, looks like we might be getting one swap from NorCal.
Fairy Trail Woodsy. Alt and aim players assemble. I like that. I like that roster. I think it's pretty solid. Utami, You're Cute +1. I would think Headstack, right?
There's no way it's not Headstack here.
Yep. Look at that. Look at that. Ah.
There you go. We know what we're talking about
Headstack
sometimes.
fulfilling our prophecies.
And I just want to call out Trail Mix, who has been popping off this match. Number 2 score on the map right now. So player to watch out for right there.
And of course, FC'd Hard Rock 1, the other alt map that we've had. So Clearly, Trail Mix in a really good spot for this sort of pick in this match. And away we go.
Yeah, this is going to be another pretty long one, and so there is going to be a lot more pressure on the accuracy, a lot more pressure to build up really big combos here.
It does sort of ease you in a little. This intro gives you, well, for most people, a little bit of combo, unless your name is You're Cute, I suppose. Generally speaking, this is going to give you some combo before you get into the harder parts of the map. It's going to be instead NorCal taking a small early lead thanks to You're Cute's break.
Yeah, it really shouldn't matter too much. Accuracy is pretty even across the board as well. It is just WotC falling a little bit behind.
And here go those aim patterns.
Yeah, lots of back and forth in this one, but everybody hitting them so far.
And okay. Some tough sliders going into this first Ki. You will likely drop some accuracy, but as long as you hold the combo, it's fine. You're Cute, though. Miss aims. It looks like that bottom slider going upward vertically. He finds the break again. And now NorCal with about a 400 combo lead. And there goes Utami as well. WotC, though, trades that one as following up his head stack. And it is Fiery and Trail Mix now. Third of the way through, you're going to be able to build up quite a lead because there is no combo on SoCal.
Yeah, NorCal could not ask for a better start to this map. Utami, the one player you're really worried about, dropping the FC, and it's going to give a chance for Fiery Mage and Trail Mix to run away with this, especially with another triple miss out of SoCal. And even WotC recovering here, the score lead is so big, only halfway through, and WotC with another miss doesn't really matter though, and SoCal is going to quickly run out of time. They really need double misses within the next 10-15 seconds, I'd say.
This was, yeah, this is just Fiery and Trail Mix going off. They are both performing so well in this map.
The accuracy from both of them as well, 98 and then 99 for Trail Mix is just pretty nuts. Trail Mix is so good at these alt picks.
Yeah, he is so consistent that it's absolutely remarkable. Fiery Rage does eventually miss, but it's really not the end of the world.
I mean, that is a...
Oh, it
no,
doesn't
it
break.
wasn't a miss.
It was
No, it's a
Bancho.
Bancho.
All right.
And,
all good then.
Yeah.
Yo, anybody like key changes? I love key changes. Fiery Trail, just sending it. Finally, I think that was a real break.
Yes,
and there
that
was Trail
was
as
a real...
well. Oh, little diff spike. Little diff spike.
Yeah, but doesn't really matter. Tommy with the 500 combo is not going to be anywhere near enough, and this was just such a good team performance out of NorCal. And 5-5, both of these teams have one pick to go.
It's scary times in this match. One map for each team, and then maybe even a tiebreaker. Quite the departure from last year, where this matchup was 7-0 in favor of SoCal. NorCal has really leveled up since then. And also, you could say that Utami is not having his most consistent match. He is still putting up great scores here and there, but his level has dropped just a little bit, and that's, you know, helping out NorCal in some of these picks that he could be the difference maker, and he's unfortunately not able to do so. And NorCal is putting up solid team scores to prevent anything less than a really great score from Utami from carrying SoCal against them.
Yeah, and to kind of add on what you mentioned about Utami there, we have seen Utami so far just dominate every other player in this tournament in every single match throughout the tournament so far, but up against NorCal here, we have players like Fiery Rage, Trail Mix that are not only matching but beating Utami, and so it's going to keep this one really close, and it's really SoCal supporting combos that are saving them. And SoCal, I feel like they have a lot of options left. They could go No Mod 5, No Mod 1, Free Mod 3, DT2, all fine picks for them here.
Yeah, I think... I don't think I would coin flip No Mod 1 if I were SoCal here. I think I would go No Mod 3, No Mod 5, or maybe Free Mod 2. But with this being the last pick, it's such a difficult position to be in. And
honestly,
I don't know.
I don't know. I really feel like SoCal should avoid the No Mod 3 as much as possible. I think that'll probably be NorCal's next pick. So I'd be pretty surprised for SoCal to take that one. But maybe I think a Free Mod 3 or a DT pick most likely.
I think if you pick DT2, you're putting a lot of eggs in the Utami basket. Because I don't know how well the rest of the team would necessarily do on that map. And that's, of course, the only D team left. But here comes Matthew into the lobby. Oh my goodness, they're actually doing it. It's the coin flip. It's the Nomad 1, 266 BPM for 51 seconds. Hold on to your hat, see you on the other side. That is this map. I've seen in other tournaments teams last picking maps like this before, and sometimes it works, but it's kind of wild to see it in this situation from this SoCal team.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like I still would give SoCal the edge on something like this. I mean, you look at the lineup from NorCal, sorry, and like, I don't know who on that team can stream 266, whereas SoCal, it feels like you have, you know, I mean, I don't think Utami can necessarily stream 266 either, but he can at least come closer than everybody else. And so this does feel like one way or another, SoCal is just kind of putting their eggs in the Utami basket and gonna be looking to Utami to carry this one.
This is like Woodsy, Jackson, maybe Gerbsy? I don't know.
Yeah, I'd be surprised to see Fiery.
I mean, yeah, Fiery can't play this. Like, he knows it. We know that. Yeah, this is like you know, Hippo Cup. I've seen people I've seen people pick Garfield to get to tiebreaker. I saw people pick Fire Rage Accordion to get to tiebreaker. You know, and win it in Force TV. This is like the same situation, except, you know, you're 1 point farther away from that if you're SoCal. This is kind of a wild ride as a last second pick.
Yeah, but keep in mind, this isn't necessarily do or die for SoCal. Worst case, they lose this pick, and then they do just have to win the next pick for NorCal. And usually winning your opponent's pick is really terrifying, but when you have so little maps left in the pool, where most of the maps are going to be coin flip, it makes trying to win your opponent's pick a little bit less scary if it's needed. But here we go into Nomad 1. It is short, and so in about 50 seconds, we'll have a winner here. It's going to be Shazaron, last member for SoCal, and just going to beat Gerbsy, like you called out, last member for NorCal here.
And away we go. The tapping begins. We'll see it for about 50 seconds straight, and it's going to be interesting to see who can hold their way through. And I'm looking just at basically Utami, and there's a bunch of triple resets for NorCal early on. Utami and Shazaron holding through. They're going to build up a quick big lead. We're already a quarter of the way through. And there goes Shazaron, but it's Utami and Matthew.
I mean, how double tappable is this map?
I mean, judging by the accuracy, it's moderately double tappable. The aim is not really very difficult, so it is, you still want to have speed players in for it, but it is fairly double tappable on those longer streams. There's not a lot of aim component to it. But as you can see, it's Utami matching Jackson and backing score from Matthew and Shazaron outdoing Gerbsy and Woodsy. We're going to come into the last few seconds here. I don't think there's much that NorCal can do at this juncture.
No, the map is already over.
Again.
The score difference is massive, and just turns out to be a really good pick from SoCal. Matthew, sadly not going to be getting, you know, closing out the combo, but I think that's an FC from Utami.
It's an Utami FC. It is a Jackson FC as well, just with 90 AC. And then the C is on Gerbsy and Woodsy. So even using some dark technology did not work out there for NorCal, unfortunately. And that means the one and only match point that a team will have in this match is going to be for SoCal, but on their opponent's pick.
Yeah, and I feel like surely we just see a Nomad 3 pick here for NorCal. I'd be shocked to see them go for anything else. I mean, there's like maybe there's a chance they go for Fremont 3, but I don't know about that one.
Whoa.
Oh, client is having a little bit of a stroke.
Okay, I think I just spammed sync music for about 5 seconds straight. I think we're good. Yeah, so Nomad 3. Yeah, because it's not Nomad 5. I don't think it's DT2. I don't think it's Fremont 3. This is probably got to be Nomad 3. I feel.
They are going to take their time, though, regardless, to really talk about their pick. It also comes down to how their players are feeling, but you know, with how Trailmix has been performing on these alt picks, I feel like Nomad 3 would actually probably be NorCal favored regardless.
Yeah, he's been the carry. So, giving him something to do well on.
And I mean, Fire Rage as well looked really good on the no mod too.
Yep.
So
There it is. NorCal has looked good on alt in this match so far. We have not seen really any tech since Hidden 1 was banned out. There's not a lot of, kind of traditional tech in this pool. So this is going to be a little bit of a new sort of skill set that we encounter. But again, it's going to be a very long map. This is 4.5 minutes. It's got alt aspects, it's got tech aspects, and it's just a good song as well. So, you can kind of get into the groove of it, which I think on longer consistency stuff is actually not something to be ignored.
no, it's not. But what we've seen too is NorCal has looked like the better team on these consistency picks where it's longer and it's coming down to consistency rather than hitting the disc spikes. And I do think we're probably just going to see Fire Rage, Trail Mix, and Woodsy here for NorCal. I can't really imagine who else they would put in. Roster a little bit less clear for SoCal. I'm wondering if we just see Yercute and Headstack possibly.
I mean, just the
Maybe
tried and
Matthew
true.
instead.
The
Yeah.
tried and true trio.
Pretty much.
And yeah, Fiery Trail. I'm interested that it's Jackson is the third though.
Yeah, a little bit surprising. And now I have just taken a look at the
Don't tell me.
leaderboard.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I don't want to know.
Should we take a guess at who is number one?
Oh my god, I hate him. I hate him. That's the first FC, by the way.
Yeah. See, usually for a match, you kind of want to not casually get the number one score on the pool so that your opponent doesn't know what you want to pick. But Tommy's like, nah, I'll just get the number one score on half the pool, and that way, no matter what you pick, I have the number one score anyways. Trail Mix though, not far behind number 4 score, and so I guess it's going to be those two to watch out for. But yeah, it's going to be NorCal versus Utami on this one.
Yeah, and I mean, thinking back to the NorCal quarterfinals tiebreaker against New York, which is a super tech-heavy map, it was Fiery and Trail Mix on that map that really made the difference, that really carried them to that victory. So, obviously players who are good at alt and tech. So, NorCal,
Yeah, this is where I get
player advantage, but not Utami advantage.
It's exactly that. That's where you kind of get a little bit concerned for SoCal, because we know Utami can FC this map, but when we have players like Trail Mix and Fire Rage who can put up comparable scores, the supporting combos need to be there. And already, Matthew going to be finding the first miss, and it's 400 combo in, so it's actually going to be a pretty sizable advantage for NorCal. Obviously still early, but they have the accuracy as well, and puts a lot of pressure on Headstack now.
There is a break coming out of Trail Mix and Fiery Rage. So the two players we were most concerned about, if you're SoCal, have both broken, and there goes Jackson as well. It's a double FC on Utami and Headstack against literally nothing. Okay, that's a turn of events.
There goes Headstack though, and so if Utami finds a miss, NorCal will be right back in this. You can see that it's still close because Matthew is really struggling, and Headstack, if Headstack starts a chain miss as well, it is going to come back to NorCal's favor regardless of the FC, because that 600 combo advantage is not enough to pull out a 1v3, but NorCal needs to build up all three of these combos.
They're in actually not a terrible spot right now because of how poorly Matthew and Headstack are doing in this portion of the map. But you change into this kind of, this change rhythm, more aim heavy section, and you get more breaks out of Headstack and Matthew. They can't calm it down. I thought maybe they would be able to settle into the rhythm, and I was completely opposite. And NorCal, they're going to bring this back because it doesn't matter what Utami does. If his teammates have literally no combo and all three players on NorCal are able to build something up, there is a break from Jackson though.
And now it's pretty much even in terms of combo, because Utami combo is kind of going to match Trail Mix and Fire Rage combined. And the thing about Utami still holding the FC is that if you can hold the FC, it is worth quite a bit more than even just the one miss. And we know Utami can FC this map. And honestly, unless Utami misses, Fire Rage and Trail Mix are both going to have to hold the FCs for the remainder of this map. Something we know they can do, but the question is, will they? Here we go into the next tough section of the map.
Oh, there goes Trail. Instantly, he could not afford to break there. Let's watch Utami. Let's watch Fiery Rage. Utami breaks on those difficult circular sort of flow patterns, but it's a full reset. It's 6 misses. Every player breaks on that section of the song, and that gives such an advantage to SoCal.
It is, and NorCal needs to desperately recover the combos. I mean, the end of this map is not insanely difficult, so they still have a chance. They're only about 80,000 behind, but Trail Mix and Headstack going to be trading. There goes Jackson as well. You can't afford to drop these low combos even. And it's Utami once again with the highest combo in the lobby.
You know, I was thinking at that middle section in the slower part with, you know, all the cards on the table, who do you choose as your fighter? Is it going to be Utami or is it going to be a combo of Fiery and Trail Mix? And I was kind of leaning the way of Utami, and it seems like that was possibly the right decision to make as Utami builds back up to a 400 combo, Headstack building up 250 combo behind him, and there's going to be very little time left for NorCal to try to bring this one back. Now 100,000 points. And Utami still holding with no combo on the side of NorCal. I think this one is done and dusted.
I think it is, and ever so close between these two teams, but it is going to be SoCal taking this one 7-4, and it is the tried and true Utami carry to close this one out.
Boy, from 2 break points to start off the match, and then no break points again until 6-5. SoCal, Utami with gonna be about a 600k score is gonna be enough to take the 7-5 win, and they will move onward into losers bracket round 7.
Yes, they will.
Slot themselves in by the barest of margins. I mean, that was still only 140k. That was close. That was the difference between like Utami doing what he did and everyone else and then some. I mean, just a pretty insane score. Not sure. Okay, well, anyway, and SoCal now they get to sit and watch the next match because they have their spot confirmed.
Yeah, another thing that's interesting though is because this match went so many maps, the winner of Massachusetts, New York, whoever comes out on top is going to have so much information on SoCal going into their match. And so they can look at all these scores, and it tends to make picking maps so much easier. And depending on how that matchup goes, SoCal might have an equal amount of information. Are we getting the tiebreaker show match?
I don't know. Pretty much everybody else seems to have left. I personally, if there's only going to be 2 players left, I'm not really all that interested if there are only 2. I don't know. I'm personally not the biggest fan of TV show match. That's just me, unless it's like grand finals. But I don't know. We'll see what they're doing while we at least can look at the bracket and stuff. So we go SoCal advancing onward. Massachusetts and New York, of course, the winner of that will be their opponent. And, you know, even with all the information that whoever wins that will have, I think that match is also going to probably be pretty close. And I think that the scores from SoCal were such that on, you know, some of those picks, it just doesn't matter if you have info because they're going to do really well on stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how useful that info ends up being.
And yeah, really, at the end of the day, info is great. But if you have all the info and your opponent's scores are all better, then the info isn't doing you a whole lot of good.
Right. Yeah, that's basically how it goes. So we'll see. That match is coming up in about half an hour, so we'll get to find out how that one goes. But for now, SoCal can breathe a pretty deep sigh of relief and thank their lucky stars that Utami could put up that kind of score on the last map to get the break point to avoid a tie break. And they'll get to watch Massachusetts, New York in a half an hour to see who their opponent will be.
But I think that is going to be it for this stream. So thank you guys all so much for watching. Of course, thank you this one guy for commentating with me, and we hope to see you guys all back here in 25 minutes for the next match. Have a good one.